You carefully check the tests, the results are confirmed. You prepare to publish your revolutionary discovery. And then something strange happens. Your funding is suspended. Your research team is reassigned. Your findings mysteriously disappear from academic discussions. Field reports indicate projects stall when controversial data emerges. Some discoveries seem to challenge modern models of human history. Tools are discovered in layers considered unexpected. Some dates, if confirmed, could significantly alter the timeline. But here is what is truly alarming. When such results are published, researchers face unusual difficulties. Researchers talk about the career risks. Scientific papers may undergo long scrutiny and require higher evidence. The results may remain unpublished or enter the gray literature. What do these anomalous artifacts reveal about our past? And why can't some discoveries reach a wide audience? The truth behind these suppressed revelations will forever change your understanding of human history. Today we will examine controversial findings and the reasons they cannot come to light. New anomalies. Let's start with what is happening right now in research laboratories around the world. Scientists are inputting ancient cave paintings into artificial intelligence systems. These are not just any cave paintings. We are talking about Paleolithic art from places like Lascaux and Chauvet. Some of them date back over 30,000 years. Analysis reveals recurring geometric patterns. The models capture geometries and symmetries that had not been noted before. We see repeating sequences, angular relationships, and patterns that correspond to simple rules of composition. Think about this for a moment. You and I can enter these caves and see beautiful drawings of animals and handprints. But when artificial intelligence analyzes the same images, it finds what appears to be encoded information. These are not random scratches on the cave walls. The analysis suggests a non-random structure and possible intentional arrangement. Some suggest that this is an early proto-symbolic system. Others believe that these patterns reveal cognitive abilities that were previously underestimated. But here is what truly worries. When archaeologists try to publish these findings, some reports mention slow acceptance and strict scrutiny. Now let's talk about something even more troubling. Paleogenomics teams are extracting DNA from cave sediments where these anomalous artifacts appear. They discover signals from unobserved or ghostly lines. We are talking about possible unexamined branches of hominids derived from a mixture. This raises a dreadful possibility. What if these strange Paleolithic tools and symbols do not belong to our direct ancestors? What if they are evidence of a completely separate branch of human evolution that somehow was erased from historical records? But the evidence becomes even stranger when we look at the bigger picture. Matching motifs were recorded at remote cave sites. Handprints in France and Indonesia look remarkably similar. Zigzag patterns in Spain resemble designs found in Australia. This time frame challenges existing models. These symbols are found in places believed to be unreachable by the first humans, relating to crossing vast ocean distances in the Ice Age, navigating without modern technology, and preserving consistent symbolic traditions across continents. Traditional archaeology explains this as independent invention, a supposition that people naturally create similar symbols. But when you see the precision of these coincidences, the explanation remains a subject of debate. These are not just similar ideas. Some examples appear extraordinarily similar in execution. The implications of this are astonishing. Either our understanding of early human migration is completely wrong, or there was some advanced exchange of knowledge 30,000 years ago that we cannot explain with current models. But it's not just about the strange symbols. Some artifacts are much older and far more destructive to existing beliefs. Stay with us, because what you will see next are discoveries that challenge accepted timelines. We speak of artifacts that shift human presence back hundreds of thousands of years compared to what textbooks claim. If you are interested in discoveries that challenge our knowledge, subscribe to us. We tell stories you won't hear anywhere else. Artifacts that do not fit into conventional patterns. Now we enter an area that challenges existing models. Let's talk about Taco in Mexico, a place that has quietly driven archaeologists mad for decades. In the 60s, researchers found stone tools buried alongside ancient animal bones, a standard procedure, until the dating results arrived. Uranium series analyses indicated an age of about 250,000 years. Radiocarbon dating indicated 25,000 years. If these numbers prove correct, they will significantly extend the timeline for North America. According to traditional archaeology, people did not reach America until about 15,000 years ago, but some interpret the layered association as earlier tool-making. This is no small discrepancy. It will require serious revisions of migration models. Virginia Steen McIntyre, one of the leading researchers, continued to publish articles about these anomalous dates for decades. Her findings were published in peer-reviewed journals. The published data sparked heated debates. But instead of revolutionizing our understanding, the work slowed down, and permits and funding did not continue in large volumes. But Viatlako is not an isolated case. Similar dating conflicts have been recorded at several sites. Tools appear in layers of stone where they shouldn't be. Artifacts that precede human presence by impossible timelines. This is where things become truly mysterious. In-depth analysis of Paleolithic cave objects reveals something extraordinary about the placement of tools. Burned stone tools are not scattered randomly. Some studies suggest a correlation with past changes in the magnetic field. Think about this for a moment. Today, we rely on compasses and global positioning systems for navigation. Imagine that tens of thousands of years ago, people were already sensing changes in the Earth's magnetic field. Were they subconsciously drawn to magnetic anomalies? Or were they deliberately seeking these places for reasons we cannot comprehend? Some researchers interpret this as a manifestation of advanced ecological awareness. They not only survived in harsh conditions, but responded to planetary forces as if it were something supernatural. Now look at this collection of Paleolithic reliefs found in Europe and Asia. You will notice something disturbing. Some images seem to depict animals not native to these regions. A creature resembling a mammoth is carved in places where mammoths never lived. Tropical species appear in Arctic caves. Traditional explanations suggest these were images from memory, with artists recreating animals their ancestors might have encountered during migrations. However, the detail of these images is described as unusually precise. These are not vague memories. These are precise anatomical images of species that were not expected in these places. This raises frightening questions. Either early humans traveled vast distances unknown to us, or they had access to knowledge systems that allowed detailed information to spread across continents. Both scenarios challenge everything we know about Paleolithic capabilities. And when archaeologists try to publish such data, something strange happens. Projects lose funding, articles are rejected by journals, careers suddenly halt. This pattern is often described as recurring. Why do investigations stop precisely when the evidence becomes most devastating? What are we not being told? The answer lies in modern technologies that unveil secrets buried for millennia and institutional forces trying to conceal them. This is how sensitive findings can get stuck in practice. No one comes into your office and tells you to stop talking. It's a much more complex process. Imagine the following situation. You lead excavations that uncover anomalous artifacts. Your initial findings challenge established timelines. You apply for a grant to continue your research, but suddenly your funding is redirected to higher priority projects. Your research permits face unexpected delays. Your team is redirected to safer and more traditional excavations. This is a dynamic that researchers often describe. Archaeological projects depend on constant funding from universities, government institutions, and private foundations. When your discoveries become too destructive, the funding quietly disappears. Without official explanations, without formal censorship, just bureaucratic death by 1,000 small pricks. Such dynamics are observed in various fields. Excavations revealing anomalous dates suddenly lose financial support. Promising excavation sites are declared closed for environmental protection. Researchers are reassigned to projects that will not challenge academic orthodoxy. But silence extends deeper than funding issues. Academic journals control which research reaches the public. These publications have editorial boards with clear preferences for studies that fit established models. When archaeologists present articles documenting impossible dates or anomalous artifacts, they face systematic rejection. Editors often demand additional evidence and extensive revisions for claims that challenge conventional beliefs. Articles are passed between reviewers who demand impossible standards of evidence. Meanwhile, traditional archaeological research goes through the same process with minimal oversight. Young archaeologists quickly adapt to this reality. Publishing controversial findings can ruin career prospects before they even begin. No permanent contract positions, no research grants, no invitations to academic conferences. The message is crystal clear. many perceive a high career risk outside the consensus. It's not that someone directly says you are being silenced. It's a more subtle process. Lack of funding means no research. Lack of publications means no academic reputation. The lack of a permanent contract means a lack of a platform for sharing discoveries. Ultimately, this limits visibility and slows public discussion. Remember what happened in Huya Loco. Virginia Steen McIntyre and her team documented clear evidence of human presence much earlier than commonly accepted models allowed. They published their results in reputable journals. The methods and findings are still actively disputed. However, instead of revolutionizing archaeology, progress stalled and dates remain contentious. Steen McIntyre continued to defend her findings, but her voice became increasingly marginalized. Then there is the cautionary tale of Shinichi Fujimura in Japan. He claimed to have discovered Paleolithic tools that would rewrite Japanese prehistory. Initially acclaimed, his findings ultimately turned out to be sophisticated forgeries. His career was completely destroyed when the truth surfaced. But here lies a troubling question. What happens to researchers who find genuine anomalies that seem just as impossible? In today's academic climate, controversial results can carry similar professional risks. The system cannot distinguish revolutionary evidence from sophisticated fraud, so it destroys both. This creates an overwhelming effect for some researchers. Archaeologists know that certain types of finds can end their careers. Some redirect their efforts to less risky projects and data sets. This is not just a theory. Let's consider the most famous cases of anomalous artifacts and the reasons why some of them have disappeared from sight. Have you heard about them? The hammer in the stone, the human footprints next to dinosaurs? But what is the truth of these finds? Let's explore the artifacts that have sparked decades of debate. These cases reveal the complex reality of anomalous archaeological discoveries. The London hammer is one of the most controversial finds in modern archaeology. In 1936, a rock hammer with a wooden handle was discovered in limestone concretion in Texas. The tool seemed to be embedded in rock formations that were estimated to be millions of years old. Analysis showed that the pickaxe perfectly matched 19th century tools. Limestone and shells formed from mineral deposits in water over several decades. But this particular case is of special interest. Natural geological processes can preserve modern objects in such a way that they appear ancient. This demonstrates how quickly natural forces can create seemingly incredible scenarios. If a 19th century tool can end up in stone in just a few decades, what can be said about truly ancient artifacts that have undergone similar processes? The traces on the Palaxi River represent an even more complex mystery. Clear dinosaur tracks were found on limestone slabs near Glen Rose, Texas, alongside prints that some researchers claimed were human. A detailed geological analysis revealed that many of the supposed human footprints were carved by modern fraudsters. Some researchers admitted to creating false evidence. However, the genuine traces of dinosaurs remain in perfect condition, proving that true fossilization indeed occurred at this site. The sad reality is that fraud contaminates legitimate archaeological objects. When fake evidence becomes known, it casts doubt on any real anomalies that may exist alongside the fakes. There is also the case of Shinichi Fujimura in Japan. Between the 1970s and 2000s, this amateur archaeologist claimed to have discovered thousands of Paleolithic stone tools. His findings suggested human presence in Japan much earlier than previously thought. Museums created exhibitions based on his discoveries, and government institutions recognized his sites as historically significant. The archaeological community initially marked these finds as revolutionary breakthroughs. However, a journalistic investigation revealed that Fujimura had planted artifacts at the excavation sites. When the truth came out, all his legacy was discredited, and his career was ruined. This case demonstrates the terrifying vulnerability of archaeological research. Fraudulent finds can deceive experts for decades. But this also raises a troubling question. In a field where controversial findings ruin careers, how can one distinguish complex frauds from genuine anomalies that appear equally unbelievable? The Piri expedition map adds another layer of mystery. This Ottoman map, dated 1513, seems to show geographical features that shouldn't have been known to 16th century cartographers. Some researchers claim the map depicts a glacial-free Antarctica with remarkable accuracy. Others claim that it depicts the coast of South America with impossible accuracy for its time. Modern geographic analysis reveals significant discrepancies between the map and the actual Antarctic coastlines. However, the accuracy of certain features remains a subject of debate when considering only the navigation methods of the 16th century. Now, let us compare these disputed cases with discoveries that revolutionized our understanding without provoking academic disputes. The Chauvet Cave in France is a true example of Paleolithic art, dating back 35,000 years. Radiocarbon analysis confirmed that these amazing images are authentic. No one has tried to suppress the studies of Chauvet. Their results were published in prestigious journals and recognized globally. Cave art demonstrates complex artistic abilities that radically changed our understanding of Paleolithic people. Similarly, the footprints in the white sands of New Mexico pushed back the date of human arrival in America by thousands of years. These fossilized footprints were described in a scientific journal in 2021. The research team did not face suppression or career destruction. The contrast is striking. Gradual discoveries move faster. Disruptive ones often progress more slowly. However, findings that challenge fundamental timelines or suggest impossible possibilities face systematic resistance. Some of these controversial cases turned out to be hoaxes or misinterpretations, but others remain unresolved, and the discussion may stagnate. If these artifacts truly exist and some of them remain unexplained, what does that mean for us? It's not just about ancient artifacts gathering dust in storage. These discoveries force us to confront fundamental questions about human abilities and our place in history. If people embedded mathematical codes in cave paintings 30,000 years ago, it means our ancestors had cognitive abilities that we have completely underestimated. We are talking not only about artistic expression. We examine potential evidence of symbolic language systems that predate written history by thousands of years. If early humans felt and reacted to changes in the Earth's magnetic field, it may indicate that they had an ecological awareness exceeding our expectations. While we are dependent on technology for navigation, they may possess innate abilities that we have lost over centuries of civilization. If identical symbols appeared on continents separated by vast oceans, it implies the existence of pathways for transmitting knowledge that spread motifs further than assumed. Either our understanding of early human migration is fundamentally flawed, or there existed communication systems that we cannot explain. Consider what this means for you personally. Your heritage connects you with problem solvers who quickly adapted. The abilities they possessed may still exist in human DNA, dormant and forgotten. Every time you experience an inexplicable feeling about a place, every time you sense direction without a compass, every time you recognize patterns that others miss, you can tap into ancient abilities that our modern world has taught us to ignore. But here is the most troubling consequence. If institutions can underestimate disruptive interpretations, they hide not only artifacts, they hide human potential. There are narratives that belittle our capabilities. What do you think these anomalies mean? Are they a testament to lost knowledge, or do they indicate abilities that we still cannot explain? Share your opinion in the comments. From codes discovered by artificial intelligence hidden in ancient cave art to ghostly DNA and Paleolithic deposits, from suppressed excavations to artifacts that disrupt conventional timelines, this pattern is often described as recurring. Our ancestors may have possessed abilities that modern science is just beginning to rediscover. Mathematical complexity that encoded information in seemingly simple drawings. Sensitivity to the environment, allowing navigation by magnetic fields. Knowledge spread by motives far beyond expectations. However, some researchers report resistance that slows the dissemination of information, not through direct censorship, but through reduced funding, denial of publications, and career destruction. The past holds secrets that we are just beginning to uncover. Archaeological sites around the world contain artifacts that do not fit modern models of human development. Modern dating methods reveal timelines that contradict established history. Analysis using artificial intelligence reveals patterns that have completely eluded human researchers. Nevertheless, discoveries that could transform our understanding of human potential remain buried in academic obscurity. Datasets and case studies continue to accumulate. Analysis technology becomes increasingly complex each year. However, institutional readiness to confront paradigm-shifting discoveries lags decades behind. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. When promising research suddenly loses funding, when controversial articles face systematic rejection, when careers are destroyed for pursuing uncomfortable truths, the message becomes clear. But truth has a way of surfacing despite institutional resistance. If you want to continue exploring untold discoveries, subscribe to us and turn on notifications, because the next story might change history again.